Hello everyone, I'm Outstar and you're watching an introduction to Cyberpunk 2077.
The next huge AAA RPG from CD Projekt Red, creators of The Witcher 3, is in development right now. Everything we saw so far is a single cinematic teaser, but media outlets predict there will be more shown during this year's E3. However, we know much more about the setting and gameplay already from the press conferences, interviews and Cyberpunk lore itself. For those of you unfamiliar with Cyberpunk 2020 pen and paper system, or those of you who feel unprepared lore-wise to approach this possibly amazing new game, here's the first video of the Cyberpunk series, explaining the setting and the world this game will take place in. Disclaimer: I'm an ex-employee of CD Projekt Red and GOG.com. During my work there, I didn't have any contact with the game, nor did I get any important information about it, so this video is not influenced by it and contains only already published info and personal speculations. With all that in mind, let's get started. Cyberpunk 2077 is directly based on Cyberpunk 2020 pen and paper setting, written by Mike Pondsmith. Bear in mind that there is a book that portrays events from 2030, a manual called Cyberpunk version 3.0, but author himself confirmed the game developers do not treat it as a canon, and its contents will be most likely omitted in the game entirely. So, the game takes place 57 years after Cyberpunk 2020. The world around didn't change much, except for some technological advancements, especially in weapons, drugs and entertainment fields. But problems among society remain the same. We're living in a futuristic world filled with ultra-modern technology, both around us and in our bodies, where a strive to become better is often replaced by a strive to survive. Decadent and degenerated society fuels itself with drugs and crime money as governments from the past cease to exist, replaced by megacorporations controlling almost every aspect of everyday's life. The battle between megacorporations has historically turned into wars, ultimately changing the course of the world, which now seems to be divided by corporate factions. So, how does Cyberpunk feel like? The universe itself takes direct inspirations from futuristic dystopian worlds portrayed in literature and cinematography of that time, Blade Runner being one of them, and the specific culture we know as the 80s, with ideas such as style over substance and glam rock trending around the globe. It's well portrayed by character roles, or classes as we know them from other games. In pen and paper Cyberpunk, you can become a rebel musician fighting authority with its charisma, cybernetic hacker, a cold-blooded private assassin and many more. But whoever you are and whatever you do it with style. You might be working for a corporation day and night, but you have more personality than a rock star. Your individualism shines through your clothing, your haircut and, well, what's under your skin as well. The amount and variety of cyberware you can install into your body is entirely up to you. Whether you want to be a cyborg or not, enhancements can make every aspect of your life way easier. But before you start chipping your body through and through, think about the risk of cyberpsychosis. You see, once you start to enhance your human self, you begin to slowly lose your humanity. The stat is called empathy in the cyberpunk, and once it gets to zero, you may enter the state known as cyberpsychosis, an utter hatred for all things human and human beings themselves. This can lead you to a rampage. Remember that woman from the teaser? There's a special police squad trained to deal with frenzied psychos. They're called the Psycho Squad. One thing's for sure, they're very dedicated to do their job right. In pen and paper Cyberpunk, lethality and approach to combat differs from systems we know from most video games and movies. Several pages in the rulebook talk about illusions we see on TV and how weapons in reality do not act like they do in movies or video games. They're lethal. You can't just get shot numerous times and still remain alive. You can get more hit points with each so-called level up. Well, you can learn how to avoid bullets better, wear armor or enhance yourself with cyberware, but that's it. Whether it will be the same in the game we don't know, but it would certainly make it more interesting. Game takes place in the famous Night City and its surrounding areas. There is one common misconception about the location that I'd like to debunk. Vast majority of depictions of cyberpunk cities look more or less the same, lacking one important thing. A very, very important thing. The sun! Night City is by no means covered by eternal darkness and only lit up by neons. Sure, if we consider Hong Kong to be a direct inspiration for creating cyberpunkish cities, especially its now destroyed part called Kowloon Walled City, then sure, some may never reach the lowest parts of these dense streets. However, it does still shine and might as well shine on beautiful gardens located in the upper streets. The name of the city doesn't reflect its looks, it's taken straight from the name of its creator, businessman Richard Knight. By 2077, Richard Knight is already dead, brutally murdered in his apartment, but he still remains a symbol, so we might see some sculptures or memories of him hidden within the game. Most of the city is run by corporations, but if you feel too much like a free bird and need to catch some fresh air, just go to the combat zone, area where corporative police doesn't go. But well, gangs do, constantly fighting to gain more territory. If that doesn't sound like a good place to rest, better head out to Forlorn Hope, Afterlife or Tutentanz, prominent nightclubs of this universe. Just bear in mind that the last one in the bunch has double-digit death count per single night. You get the drill, there are no safe havens and the whole world is a survival of the fittest. So that's it for a quick introduction. I'd love to do more videos introducing cyberpunk lore to you guys, so please help me choose which topic should I cover first. 1. Psychosis and Psycho Squad, lore behind events shown in the trailer. 2. Locations, lore behind places from which few were already confirmed to appear in the game. 3. Drugs of cyberpunk, various psychoactive substances appearing in the dystopian world. 4. Cyberpunk and Vampire the Masquerade, similarities in between these two RPG settings to make people waiting for a new White Wolf game a little happier. There's a straw poll in the description of this video, so please choose your favorite there. That's all for today. I'm Outstar, streamer and game developer from Poland. You can watch me almost daily at twitch.tv/Outstar. Subscribe here for more Cyberpunk and Vampire the Masquerade related videos. See you again in the Night City.